welcome here to the one and only Fred Dreyer Show. I'm Michael Horn. They call me the host of the show. We have our producer, Corey Marino. But the star of our show is the all-pro defensive end, the acting legend, the icon, the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer. Fred, how are you?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be with you. It's been a long week, and we look forward to getting into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. You know, back in the day, Fred, when you and I would come into the studio, we'd talk about a game we saw, some spectacular play. Instead, our producer, Corey, says, "Hey, Fred, how's your back doing right now?" I go, "Hey, my sacroiliac's killing me right now." And JD, Jeremy Dade, and our other producers tell us about some kind of peptide cleanse or something. What the heck is going on here, Fred? Are you feeling okay?
There's sports business to talk about, Mike.
There's a lot to talk about. How is your back, though? Better now?
My back is good. It could be better, certainly, but it's getting better as the weeks drone on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I have the friend who is a sponsor of the show, Dr. Michael Sheps, who has that hot laser that we can't wait to get on our, mine's kind of in the lower back area right there, and he goes and pops that hot laser on there and takes that inflammation
out. You know what I told him a long time ago?
What did you tell him?
I told him, I said, here's what you should do, Mike.
Yeah.
You should put that machine in a van.
There you go.
And make trips to people and charge them up the wazoo.
Do you know, and by the way, I swear my soreness on my back is right there by the wazoo.
The wazoo is the wazoo.
Got a problem there.
It's nice and plump.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I'm trying to reduce it a little bit. But you should know better than anybody because you started your career, and people talk about this. Jackie Slater was on the other day. He says, Fred Dreyer, when he was on the Rams, he had a Volkswagen van. I said, yeah, he drove it all the way to New York when you signed with the New York Giants, right?
What's that have to do with anything?
I don't know, because you're telling Sheps to get his van. Maybe
he should get a nice van all hooked up
and
hit UCLA SC, all the local colleges. Number one, UCLA is a big one that uses his stuff, and he's ready to help people get back to their feet.
What do you think, Corey? Is the show going exactly as you expected it so far?
Oh, yeah. Always. The opening always is.
That's good. So he's kind of cheerful and fine.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, should we talk some sports?
Maybe some.
Okay, well, stay with us here. It's the Fred Dreyer Show.
Progressive knows there are two things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi everyone, Tom Mustin here for the Legal Help Center. If you or a loved one were injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You'll find out if you have a case and how much money it's potentially worth. Call 800-610-2400. That's 800-610-2400. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can speak with a live agent 24/7. So, if you or someone you know are injured in an accident of any kind, take advantage of this opportunity and speak with a live agent right now. Find out if you have a case and how much money you could potentially get. Call 800-610-2400. That's 800-610-2400. 800-610-2400. Call now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to Listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Welcome back here to the one and only Fred Dreyer radio program. We're in the Sports Lounge. I'm Michael Horn. Corey Marino, you see, is doing a good job producing the show along with JD Jeremy Dayton. And we got the star of our show here, and that's the one and only Fred Dreyer, the all-pro defensive end, the acting legend. Fred, a guy who owned a Volkswagen van. And it's very good. I'm glad you radio people are not seeing what goes on in the studios here. But welcome back to the show anyway. Fred, you have that Volkswagen van that you used back to New York, and you had that thing super cool, didn't you, with a very special, it was kind of like a radiator, but it was for the oil because these things are totally air-cooled. Is that correct, Fred?
What's that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we're all coming to you on 790 KABC. Can we get this all done before we start the show in here? We get kind of nice here. 790 KABC, our flagship station. We also are on Sports Byline Radio Network, CRN Digital Talk Radio, and also on Sirius XM on the weekends here for you. Coming soon to you good listeners in Chicagoland on WRMN. And this show, very popular and one of the big hits, and they carry the White Sox. So we're going to have to be taking a look at some of the White Sox, what they're doing this year, because they had a fairly decent year last year, as I recall. Hopefully they'll be doing better this year. Don't go shaking your head. It was a great year. They had some outstanding young players
that lost a lot of games.
Yes, they did. But it's different.
They lost 200 games? Was it 200?
No,
they only play like 162.
I think they only won like 20 games or something like that.
Well, I think they're doing better this year.
They are.
Because I think, is Miami, the Marlins have only won a few or something?
It's the Rockies.
The Rockies.
The 5 games they've won.
Yeah.
The Rockies have hit rock bottom, everybody. And you heard it here first.
5 and 27, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, go Sox.
I mean, the Dodgers and everybody will take it because that division's tough. You got the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers in it, so at least you need one guy to beat up on, like the Rockies.
And the Dodgers have kind of turned it around. They're doing well, but I think it's kind of neck and neck between the Dodgers and the Mets now as to who the most
the hottest
has the most
teams.
wins. Hottest teams.
Dodgers have the best record so far. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think the Mets had it for a couple of days, but I think the Dodgers maybe now. Well, I don't know. It's going neck and neck.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It is. Now, I don't know if you saw this or not, but we thought we'd kick the show off with addressing the elephant in the room, and that, of course, is a great coach. I love this guy, Bill Belichick. Did so much with the New England Patriots, and apparently he has a new girlfriend. Did you?
Good for him.
Did you? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So what's the deal? He's doing this 60 Minutes interview, and apparently this guy, what's his name? Tony Ducapel, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of took a pill, Ducapel or something.
He took a pill, and that's what he has to do if you're going to date. If you're going to date.
Thank you for that thing. Little advice. I told you, listen to the show, you'll learn a lot here from the Fred Dreyer Show. So Tony Ducapel, he was interviewing, and apparently before the interview went down, Bill Belichick talked to his PR firm. He talked to the people that put out his book, and he said he wanted to talk basically about his new book out called The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. And he spoke to CBS, the Sunday morning producers on the show, and said, I want to talk about the book. And they agreed.
Yeah.
And when they got in there, Bill brought in his girlfriend. She's sitting on the side, and this Tony Ducapel acted like a pill and said, well, you guys met. And then she goes, we're not going to talk about that.
She said that.
She said that. And then the media threw it all out of proportion, saying she was taking over the interview. And according to Bill Belichick, she wasn't. She was just kind of sitting there. Am I right, Corey? And
I agree with Bill.
I do, too. I think, there was... it's nobody's business, but apparently it's common knowledge that they had both talked, both the girlfriend and Bill, that they met on a plane, on a flight.
Well, they did.
Yeah, and that's what they did. So I don't know why Tony was bringing that topic up again.
Well, it's because they sucker punched him in the interview.
That's what I'm saying, and they do that all the time. His girlfriend, what's her name? Is it Jordan? And that's what this Tony Ducabill said. He says, you got Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be focusing on this relationship, he said, and they had a cutaway, and they showed her off the set. I mean, she didn't know she was even going to be on the set.
Yeah.
And they took a shot of her seated at a desk, huddled over a monitor. She was looking, and then Ducabill says, how did you guys meet? And the shot is set up that way, so Belichick is back on camera. And he mentioned, we're not talking about this, is what she said. And Belichick talked about he doesn't care what people think about his relationships. He doesn't care what anybody thinks about anything.
Well, see, now he's talking about their relationship.
Yeah. Did you ever have a situation like that where you had a wonderful woman and they were more interested in talking to the woman than they were you?
No. Yeah. I kept the woman out of the interview.
Yeah, it's a gentlemanly.
Why would you bring your girlfriend, wife, next door neighbor? Why would you bring them onto the show and expect? She's a pretty girl. I've seen her.
Yeah, Jordan is. Yes.
Yeah, and not that you have to be interviewed. Helps. And people said, gee, let's start asking Bill questions about his girlfriend. She's great. And they said, well, we said we weren't going to talk about it. We're going to talk about his book. He said, well, I know, but the book isn't as exciting or as titillating as the interview with his girlfriend. So they decide they don't want to talk about it. And so they're not talking about it. And so what happened?
And so they started then showing shots of her on the side and asking some more questions. And it was a 35-minute interview or something. And towards the end, the last 7 minutes, they're trying to pry into his what's going on in the relationship. You can hear about it by what he was talking.
How can you put her in that position if you're Bill?
Well, I don't think he knew they were going to talk to her.
Can't you say, excuse me, fellas, honey, would you wait for me in the Jeep? And then get back to business. And if she's not there to look at and talk about, then you move on to the book, which was the idea of him being on the show in the first place.
Correct. And I think it did unsettle him. Am I right, Corey? And he did mention about that. And then after he got off the show, he said he agreed to speak with CBS Sunday Morning to promote his book, The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life in Football. And he says, prior to the interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the content of the book. Unfortunately, quoting him now, he says, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book.
Okay, now the next move is...
Yes?
What? The next move is... honey, meet me in the car, and guys, go pound sand, see you later, don't ever call me again. And then leave and tell your agent you're fired.
That could be a very good way of handling it. He said this occurred several times, and he said Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion on the book. And Bill says, quoting again, she was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips made it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we've been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. So the final 8 minutes of the segment doesn't reflect this productive 35-minute conversation that they had.
What did they talk about for 35 minutes?
His book. We should get him on the Corey. Let's see. Tell him we'll have him on the show here.
After he said, I'm not talking about my girlfriend, Jordan.
Right.
He stayed on the show, and they continued to talk about what subject?
I don't know. It was like the last 8 minutes.
The last 8 minutes.
They were trying to keep prying and then edited.
Yeah. They were trying to pry into the relationship.
Some of the people I think that are bringing it up are actually just trying to look out for Bill because they think she's like trying to control him and because
there's the conversation, and you don't need her to do it.
She became his publicist, and then she filed for 14 trademarks with his name, and she's already had, since dating him, had $9 million in real estate that she's acquired and sold already.
Wait a second.
So it kind of seems like they're trying to protect Bill and be like, hey, look out, this woman might be in it not for love.
She's got some of his real estate dollars.
She doesn't have his real estate, but ever since dating, she's gone up $9 million, which is, I don't know what she was doing before.
She's gone up $9 million in personal worth.
And through real estate assets.
I hope some other things have gone up for Bill in that relationship. We'll take a little break and come back here on the Fred Dryer Show.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-475-7125. 800-475-7125. That's 800-475-7125.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number:
800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. That's 800-251-7963.
And we are back here on the Fred Dryer Show, coming to you directly from the studios of CRN, the Competition Radio Network. I'm Michael Horn. Corey Marino, our producer, is up here. JD, our other producer, is back getting the latest news for you. And, of course, the star of our show is the one and only Fred Dryer, the all-pro defensive end, the star of the New York Giants, the Los Angeles Rams, and then the whole acting career, Hunter and Land's End, and all sorts of great movies and more. And we're here with you every week at this time on this station. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, a little finishing of the this Belichick interview, because apparently this Jordan could be a positive or a negative for Bill. Not only the nice relationship,
a plant.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, Bill Belichick said a lot of things when he was, coaching the New England Patriots. And some of the key phrases that he would use was no days off, do your job, ignore the noise. And apparently, Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, has taken and trademarked those phrases. And they were said by Bill Belichick, correct?
Can you take the English language? Why don't you just carpet the English language and so you can't use this segment? Any words that were put into the dictionary over the last 200 years you can't use. I mean, why can't you say use the English language? What's he going to write a book about? Either or, don't be a loser, and all that. I mean, what's
the book is different than these phrases because she apparently has filed lawsuits now. Is that right, Corey? To try to trademark these and get them back to under Bill Belichick's control. For example, who's the Laker coach that was in Florida that has the three-peat?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley he owns that phrase three-peat. So if you say that when you're on a team, it's his phrase. He trademarked it. Now, if Bill Belichick used these phrases, but Robert Kraft trademarked them, they may be out of luck. They can't use them again. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. It'd have to be through the legal thing, but it's just all monetary. So if you print merchandise with those words on it or sell, it's just all money.
Yeah, well, she filed these lawsuits, these trademark suits, Federal Trademark Office on April 3rd, so we'll keep a look and see what's going on there.
Yeah.
So there you have it. She might be good for Bill. Maybe she's going to handle his legal services, among other things. Now, sad note in the news, and this is a true story here. One of the big super fans, there used to be a guy in Los Angeles, Ed Beeler, wasn't he, on KABC Radio, our flagship? He used to do the super fan radio show. And the Mets have a super fan, not on the air, but in the stands, a guy by the name of Seymour Weiner, and he died and passed away at 98 years of age. The man's name is Seymour Weiner, Weiner, Seymour, Seymour, first name. And apparently this guy, 98 years old, skyrocketed on virtual fame here. Tell us the background on this, Corey.
Yeah, so last year during opening day at that Met Stadium, they honored him as a veteran because he was born in Brooklyn, and he went in the Army and went to World War II, and so they put him out there and they acknowledged him and congratulated him. And throughout the year, I mean, he became viral because of his
So he
name.
saw the old Brooklyn Dodgers play.
He did.
Right?
He saw the Brooklyn Dodgers. He saw Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, and he's got to see the new greats. And so he got real famous because, of course, his name is Seymour Weiner. And so, last April they had a $1 hot dog promotion.
They did.
Using
a hot dog promotion for Seymour Weiner.
They did, and they used his picture holding up a hot dog. And he said it's
Did they
Seymour.
use the extra long, like the Dodger dogs?
Oh, like
the
the
Mets
16.
Do they have those long ones? Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to look into it. But Seymour Weiner approved the message by saying everybody loves a wiener.
So Fred,
well, I wouldn't.
Thoughts?
I wouldn't debate that. I think everybody does love a wiener, and he's dead now, right? So
he has passed away.
We can't get him on the show.
No,
but I have a question for you, because if he was in New York and was going to the old Brooklyn Dodger games, maybe he was a football fan. Did he catch you playing when you were there 3 years, when you signed up and started your big career in football on the New York Giants?
I never heard of this guy until I think I got back to L.A.
Okay, so obviously not a fan of the Giants.
It's kind of like
New York Giants.
Stigmatization of the East Coast sports fan.
Yeah, we got to find out about that, but there's no way we can ask Seymour because he's passed away, and a good, nice age of 98 is good. He went to the games. Was still going, seeing Pete Alonso and all these guys on the Mets.
And he said he was one of he attended Jackie Robinson's MLB debut.
Wow.
He was only one of 12,000 people that actually got to attend the game.
Wow!
So he's seen a lot.
That's it. When you went to the New York Giants, you were met with older gentleman in the player entrance that used to say that there was the Babe there. We've told this story on the show before.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth used to hang out with this guy and have like Yoo-Hoos or whatever. What was the whatever the candy bars or drinks were at the time? Correct?
Yeah, and it was a very. This is 1969 Yankee Stadium. It was first base side of the stadium. I don't know if that's east or west. It was right there as you cross over the bridge, and it was a very interesting time in sports in New York City. That was the year that the Mets won the World Championship.
69,
the Jets won it in 68.
Oh, boy.
So when I showed up there was an awful lot of a buzz going on, a lot of hubbub. And I never, I think it was around that time that I was introduced, not actually introduced, but I became aware of this character.
This Seymour Wiener.
The Seymour Wiener.
Well, he probably wouldn't be caught dead. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that now, but at Yankee Stadium, he probably never went there because he was a huge Mets fan, and he liked the Brooklyn Dodgers and probably the old New York Giants baseball team, not the New York Giants football. But maybe he liked the New York Giants football team, and maybe he was there.
We don't know.
Yeah. And you actually, in that room where they entered the stadium, there was an old stool there. The gentleman, what was the guy's name that was who handed out said hello to you when you walked in there? He would sit on that stool, and you asked if you could sit there because that was the stool that was Babe Ruth's old stool.
You know what's really funny? I think his name was Pete.
Pete?
I think his name was Pete.
Not Alonzo.
Not Alonzo.
So Pete was the old guy that was there.
He was the old guy, and he used to give the Babe Yahoo.
Yoo-Hoos, the Yoo-Hoos, right?
Yoo-Hoos.
Yeah.
Or Yahoo. Yoo-Hoos, as he would come in, and he would sit down in this one little chair up against the wall, and he would stand there and make sure that people didn't storm in when the Babe showed up.
Of course.
So. It was. I have to revisit this. This is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But he was there through my duration through '71, and I don't know what happened to him after that.
Did you have a particular fan that used to come and watch the New York Giant games? That was like a diehard fan, lived and died by whatever the Giants did. There must have been a lot of those in the crowd there.
Well, there's a lot of them. I don't know of them. But it was a crazy time. It was the World Championship was shared in football and in baseball, and it was a lot of fun in New York in '68 and '9.
Yeah, it was big stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we're saddened to see the passing of Seymour Wiener. I hadn't heard this story until he passed away here. And the Mets wrote on social media this last Wednesday, sharing a photo of the World War II veteran. We thank Seymour for his service and the lifelong Brooklyn resident attending the game. And the Mets, as you mentioned, had last April a $1 hot dog night promotion using a photo of Wiener and in the advertising that said a Seymour Wiener approved message, end of quote. And another one that said everybody loves a Wiener, end of quote. So he saw games, as you mentioned, Jackie Robinson, everybody. So you got to have those kind of fans. I don't know. I've been a lifelong Dodger fan. I don't know of any one fan that sticks in your mind that they were always there. The Dodgers used to, because they're in. They still do. They have a lot of celebrity crowds. Doris Day used to be there watching Maury Wills steal bases.
Well, remember this. Remember that baseball, especially baseball, was started off in the East Coast with the Knicks and the. 8 or 10 original basketball teams.
You're talking about basketball, started with the Knicks,
and the fan fellowship of celebrities and other athletes was extremely prevalent, and all sports were good in the United States up until they got to the Missouri River.
It was all East Coast stuff, right?
It was all East Coast.
Like the Cubs were
there
the
was
farthest
nothing.
west.
There was nothing west of the big river there.
Yeah. Hey, there was nobody was in the West until the Giants came out, and then the Dodgers came out from Brooklyn.
Giants opened everything, changed everything.
You remember that? There used to be like games of the week that was on NBC, and you didn't really know much. I'm much younger than you.
Yes.
Well, maybe not that much younger. Yeah. But I don't recall that because, I don't believe we had a television set. Possibly. You had one. You were able to watch everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was the way it was over there. Anyway, we're going to take a break, come back with more, and see what goes on. Let's see what's happening there. Apparently, there's a rule that we have to talk about a little bit here with Fred Dreyer, and that's the rule about can you have utility people pitching in a baseball game? We're going to find that out. He's not on that diet that, what's his name, is on from the...
JD.
Yeah. We'll have to find out what's going on. We'll be back with more. It's the Fred Dreyer Show. We'll be back.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Looking for a pharmacy that truly understands your health needs? At Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy, we specialize in custom compounded medications for patients of all ages, including pets. From pain management and sports medicine to natural hormone replacement and dermatology, our expert pharmacists create tailored solutions with precision and care. Trusted by major professional sports leagues and the U.S. Olympic Committee, we deliver top-tier medications you can count on. We are your source for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and other treatments for COVID and parasite cleanses. Serving patients and physicians across California, we offer mail-order service for your convenience. Visit us at 1901 West Cliff Drive, Suite 3 in Newport Beach, or call 949-272-0775. Or go to westcliffcompounding.com. Westcliff Compounding Pharmacy. Custom care, trusted solutions.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free gift. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
And now for Harmony Cheese, here are Vince Ferragamo and Jackie Slater.
Indulge in the exquisite flavors of Harmony Cheese, crafted with passion and precision in Athens, Wisconsin.
Our signature Golden Age cheeses are a symphony of taste. From the tangy sweetness of cranberry and orange Abergele to the rich, buttery smoothness of our aged Gloucester.
Elevate your charcuterie board with our show-stopping Merlot cheddar, or savor the unique combination of flavors in our Portobello and chive Abergele.
Harmony Cheese, rooted in Wisconsin tradition, crafted for discerning palates. Visit our cheese shop in Athens or shop online at harmonycheese.com.
Don't forget to visit our cheese shop in Athens or shop online at harmonycheese.com.
That's harmonycheese.com.
Back together again here on the Fred Dreyer Show. Thank you so much for joining us here. Whenever you hear this show, we're here with you on mostly weekends on all radio stations around the country. KABC 790 AM in Los Angeles carries us 6 o'clock on Saturday. That's our flagship. And then we're on Sports Byline Radio, CRN Digital Talk Radio stations around the country. Also on Sirius XM for you, too. So check it out. Good stuff. Now, we got a lot of listeners and viewers. We do. You can email Fred Dreyer at crntalk.com. Fred Dreyer, Dryer at crntalk.com. Follow him on X, on Twitter at Fred_Dreyer, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dreyer. And we're also with you on Facebook Live and also on the YouTube channel. You can check it out on your YouTube channel. See the show there, right there on our CRN Talk channel, and check out Fred Dreyer. Rachel says hello to all of us here. Lori from Iowa is tuned in. Martine is there. Jenny from Santa Maria says the Dodgers are doing well, and they are. They've turned things around a little bit here.
They're 20-10.
Is that what it is now? You checked
21-10.
Yeah, a little bit more than that now. A few more days have gone by from the last time I looked. And we also have Pamela, who, and by the way, Jenny has the Works For Me, all these people that are tuned in here, listen and go to that website. It's actually a Facebook page called Works For Me, Fred. And
very good.
Pamela Johnson also has a blockbuster announcement that she is sharing on Facebook Live, and I'll share it with the rest of the listeners and get your review on this now, Fred. This is on Get TV, G-E-T, Get TV, this weekend, May 3rd, Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. They are going to show the famous 2-hour pilot episode of the Hunter TV series, followed by 4 outstanding episodes from season 1.
They are?
You're speechless.
I think that haven't they done that?
Well, they're doing it again.
Oh, wow.
You want to get in on the very beginning, you can see how it all started.
Saturday at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know if I ever saw the pilot. Do they start with you on a football field getting a really heavy tackle, and then you look up and you go, what? I think I'm going to join the police department. Is that how it starts?
Yeah. It was,
or did they edit that out?
Oh, no, they're going to keep that in there. That's going to be... I think what happens, Hunter has a concussion the entire first half of the show, so therefore they can't get him to take his uniform off. So he goes around arresting people in his uniform.
So wait a minute. So the first season, this pilot episode, you're in your Rams football
I'm in full regalia, and I checked